Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to introduce you to I'm going to introduce all my subscribers and anyone who views this video, Dr. Satyanaryan Das, Babaji. He is a great scholar and he's a Vaishnav and he lives in Vrindavan. I met Babaji a few years ago and I've been following him for a little while now on YouTube, and obviously, as I said, I met him personally as well. The reason I'm reacting to this video is that he's a great scholar of Vaishnav tradition, and his insights are really deep and really philosophical. And I thought I'll introduce this, just react to this video for you and show you, his style of preaching, and also recommend you that you go to his website and his channels and learn from him, and if you are interested in Vaishnava philosophy. So let's react to this video where Babaji is explaining what is spirituality, and there's a talk with one of the devotees, Yakub, and I will leave the original video description original video link in the description box, and of course many thanks to Yakub for this video. So let's go.
So what then spirituality is, as you were saying?
So spirituality has two aspects in it. One is knowing yourself, another is knowing God, and they are interrelated. Because there are two spiritual beings. One is the individual spiritual being, and another is the supreme spiritual being. And we call God or Bhagavan or Ishvara in Sanskrit. So to have knowledge about that, to have experience of that, to realize that, that is the path of spirituality. Spirituality results in that. And that is the reality. Because at present we are in the illusion thinking that I am this body or I am the mind, or this mind-body complex. But that's not reality.
Like psychosomatic
Yes.
being.
Yeah. So I am only the driving force behind this system. I'm separate from it. So it's like you have electricity and you have a recorder. So the recorder is a machine, and then electricity is supplying the energy for it to function. Like that, the spirit, the Atma, the Purusha, is supplying energy for this body to function. It's a material body. It functions, it has various wonderful functions in it. But it's inert by itself. So the person who is making it work, that is what we call spirit, and the process to know that is called spirituality.
Okay.
And process not to know that, only become entranced in the material senses, material objects, that is called materialism. So now we are in a complex situation that we are within this body, we are in the material world. That's a fact, you cannot deny that. So we have to somehow, remaining in the situation and utilizing all this, we have to understand what we are and where do we belong actually. So we belong to God and we are part of God. We are not part of matter. Because we are not material, we cannot be part of matter.
That's a good point.
So to know that, to realize that, to follow a process, a system, a discipline, some regimen, to experience that, that is called spirituality.
Going more and more towards that understanding. And what about the manifestations of God that you're saying? How they are different from God itself? Because you said it has different names.
They have different names because for different purposes he manifests different forms and different power he manifests. It's just like you go to office, so you have one role to play there, and you may even dress up differently when you go to the office. When you go to party, you dress up differently, you have one role to play. You are in your home, relaxed, you have a different role there. So like that, God also has different roles, but God can take different forms for those roles. We cannot take forms. At best we can change our dress.
Yeah.
But God, because He has this power, so He can actually take different forms for different roles. So He is the same person, He has all the powers, but in a particular role He don't manifest some powers and He manifests some of the powers. When you go to office, then you don't manifest your ability of acting as a husband or as a father or as a son. You manifest your ability to
do your job well.
Do your job well. You may be a manager, you may be a supervisor, you may be an engineer, whatever. So you manifest that capability there. And when you come home, you don't manifest that. At home you are not an engineer, you are not a manager.
A director.
Yeah, you are whatever, husband or a father or brother or a son. So you have that capability, so you act according to that role.
And behind that you have yourself, like God has itself behind the manifestations.
Yeah, in case of God, He and His body are non-different. In our case, our body is different than ourselves.
Okay.
So in His case, He is absolute, that's why there is no duality in Him. So He and His form are not two separate things.
That's why it's hard to understand how He's
That's
going on.
hard to understand because His form is not material, His form is also spiritual. In our case, we are spiritual, our form is material. Our body is material. In His case, His body, His mind, even His dress, everything is spiritual. It's made of different energy.
So a lot of people say that why in your tradition, your God has a form. Of course, that's what we believe. But let's not discuss this for now. But very interesting point is that Lord's body is not a normal material body. It's a transcendental body. It's a spiritual body. So always remember, if somebody asks, the Hindus, that your body, God has a body, that is not a body like we have. It's not a materialistic kind of body. It's a special spiritual body. So that's a very good point Babaji is reminding here.
So He manifests Himself to give education to humanity, to give this knowledge, because we cannot get this knowledge by ourselves. Our senses are very limited, our instruments of knowledge, even the machinery we may have developed to investigate, they are very limited.
So are we always constrained by our duality, or does path towards spirituality needs a step to transcend this duality of a person?
You have to transcend the duality.
Alright.
You have to know this and then you have to transcend it.
No. I bet the topic of spirituality cannot be talked through fully. It needs discipline and work and time.
Yes.
Patience, faith, and experience.
Yeah, it's a subject in itself. It's a field like you study engineering, you study art, you study sciences, politics, social sciences. Like that, spirituality is also a subject to be studied. It's not simply you take drug and you become spiritualist. It's like you don't become an engineer by taking drug.
I think drug, Dr. Saab, Babaji means
how did I become an engineer?
You drink, you get an injection and you suddenly become
You have to go to college, you have to study,
an engineer.
Right, exams. It was this. It was this, and then you work, right? Yeah, it's hard work and hard study.
It's the same
Nothing
thing.
to do with
It's not that you take a pill and
Yeah,
then
that's what
suddenly
he
you're an engineer.
means.
So there are a lot of misconceptions in people's mind about spirituality.
Yeah, and one of them is if I go that path, my life will be boring. This is what is mostly heard from, sincerely talking on my talk with my friends, and I was always among them as well. For me, that subject was as well boring. It seems like you go.
Yeah, because boring or not boring, that depends on one's own interest.
No.
People in general don't have interest in spirituality, so that's very boring.
Correct.
But then it changes once you start to like also read about it, do some steps.
Yeah, once if your interest develops, then obviously you don't get bored.
I mean, I can tell that from experience, that when you get into it, it's not boring.
It does not help you to fulfill your desires, and you feel bored with that. So if you have no desire for spirituality, obviously it's boring for you, because you have so many other desires, and spirituality is not part of that.
And I see you like you're not bored with spirituality at all.
I don't think so.
Why shall I be bored? That's my life.
And it also like looks that it's good for your health.
It's good for everything.
Correct.
For how you look quite young. Yeah, I was shocked when I heard how old are you?
Because you're not in anxiety.
Fantastic. That's a very good point.
People, you don't feel sadness. As you said, you transcend the duality
Of this world. Sadness, hot, cold, sadness, happiness. You transcend it. Beautiful.
I'll think about it. I say you deliberate and meditate on it.
Yes. One should at least deliberate, even if one doesn't take interest in it, but at least one should know what it is. There's no harm in knowing.
Correct.
You can decide you want to follow, not follow.
Yeah.
But one should not reject it without knowing it.
That's ignorance.
No.
So, friends, this is it. As I was saying, that Babaji is a scholar of very high repute. He went to IIT in Delhi. Then he worked in an IT industry in America. He left everything. He went back to India. He's also a Sanskrit scholar, and he's dedicated his life to it. So really, if you want to learn the nuances and those finer points within Vaishnav, especially within Vaishnav philosophy, I mean, in my opinion anyway, that Babaji is a great person, to learn it from. I will send. I will put a link in the description box. The website is called jiva.org, and you have question and answers. And Babaji also does online Srimad Bhagavatam and Gita classes, and I'll put the link to those in the description box as well. So I think if you listen to this conversation a couple of times, Babaji has covered a lot actually in such a 15 minutes. He's talking about jiva, he's talking about spirit, he's talking about purusha, he's talking about the goal of life, the materialistic desire, the cause of anxiety. He's covered so many things in such a small video, but you have to start listening to it and picking up the nuances. So anyway, I thought I would like to share this with my YouTube family. I think spread the words, as it were, that here is a great scholar, and we can learn a lot from him. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will listen to more of his videos if you're interested in this philosophy. But yes, and also friends, as you know, I'm working very hard and bringing these spiritual topics to you. So please support this channel and like and subscribe. You know how the YouTube algorithm works. The more people see these kind of, in today's world, so much conflict, so much tension. People need this kind of content, this kind of knowledge. So I would appreciate that, if you can put a comment on it, or a little comment on it. It helps push the video out, really. So I'll really appreciate that. And till the next time, take care of yourself, and see you soon. God bless.